Hey there, it's Anonymous Tea, where we spill the tea anonymously. Hello, everyone. Hello, YouTubers. Hope you guys are all having an amazing day today, sending good vibes, sending positivity, sending blessings, and good energy to each and every single one of you. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, anything I say is alleged and in my very, very personal opinion. This is for entertainment purposes only. None of this is personal. The Copyright Act of 1976 is in the description box. Some meat and potatoes, some housekeeping items. It is free to follow me. Free to follow me on this channel, Anonymous Tea. Free to follow me on my other channel, Anonymous Tea Podcast. There is new content over there. Follow me on the Tickety Talk at Anonymous Tea Podcast. Free to follow me on the Instagram. On the Instagram is at Anonymous Reality Tea. Free to share everywhere. Free to like the video so it gets out to the algorithm. Free to share with your family, your friends, and your foes, and coming or going, hit the like button. So today in this video, we are talking Love Island USA Season 7 reunion. In this video, we are talking about Chelley Olandria on top, Chelley and Olandria on top, and whacking all of these people, you guys. So they really spoke out a great deal, and I felt, as it pertained to the bullying and the racism, articulated well the hatred and the things. They're still receiving it now, you guys. On Olandria's comments on Instagram, on the Instagrammies, they're posting pictures of George Floyd. On Chelley's comments, they're spamming her comments with pictures of Huda and calling her a snake and calling her a clown and calling her all of this and all of that. Like, it's flat out disgusting. If you have not seen my last video as it pertains to the heart rate challenge, apparently Ace was questioned about the heart rate challenge, according to Jeremiah. However, for whatever reason, it was edited out, right? Now, where I didn't like what Andy Cohen did when he was going into a segment earlier in the reunion about where, Chelley, he was asking directly who Chelley and Ace felt in the cast was not standing on business, was moving different, and provide examples. And so as they were providing the examples, and then they wanted to dive into right then and there the bullying, the racism, everything else that was perpetuated by Huda and her interviews and then amplified by her fans. And Andy Cohen was like, we'll move on to that later. And I felt that was a mistake, right? Because you drag out the reunion further with the Casa people, with all of these other things that, to be honest, to be quite frank with you, it wasn't a hot button topic. The hot button topic was the racism, the bullying allegations that caused significant harm. It had caused Olandria and Chelley to lose a bunch of followers, right? So first off, the first people that get the whackings is the Casa girls. And Olandria was whacking Coco and was telling her, listen, look at here. And then Chelley tag team as well was like, listen, look at here. You were unnecessarily moving mad in interviews, as well as Vanna talking about how, certain people were not nice to you. Certain people are doing too much. Coco trying to allude to Olandria being like, my man, and all of this and all of that. And Coco is up here talking about she's team chocolate girls. No. You were liking messy posts. I don't understand why certain people don't understand this. Coco came out of the villa liking messy posts, basically saying that if she wanted Ace, she could have Ace, and that her and Ace were meant to be, and all this other foolishness, and then feeding into the narrative that Olandria was desperate for Taylor, she was obsessed with Taylor, and she was a pick-me for Taylor, and all of this and all that, and then gets on the podcast and says that she's being delusional about Taylor. Now, if none of this is true, Coco, why allegedly did the actual podcaster come out and say you allegedly tried to have it deleted? Make it make sense. Here's the thing. You can feel a way, like, I guess if you feel that your time was cut short or whatever else, but let's not be delusional, right? You did not have a stronger connection with Ace than what Ace had with Chelley. Let's just talk about it, right? Ace was nice to you, but it was nothing on the level of how he was with Chelley. I don't care what y'all say about anything as it pertains to how Ace was moving in the villa. If you look solely at how his connection was with Chelley and his interactions with Chelley compared to any of these other women, there is nothing that compares. Nothing that compares, right? So the big thing was switching gears to the racism, the bullying allegations as it pertained to Huda and what she amplified in interviews and what was amplified by her fan base. Now, it came out Olandria told Huda in advance about the superimposed photo of the George Floyd photo in which Huda's face is there as the officer allegedly kneeling down on Olandria's face, and it was her face on George Floyd's body, which was flat out disgusting. I actually was surprised that Peacock kept that in there, but it was a shock to Andy Cohen that it went that far. And apparently Olandria told Huda this in private, told her this in private. Can you say something? Can you put out a post? You have the most followers out of all of us. Can you put a post on the Instagrammies? Can you put a post on the Tickety Talk saying you are against racism, you are against bullying, you are against hate of any kind? And Huda's response was, I get racism too, and I get hate too, and that was the wrong answer, Huda. That was the wrong answer because you completely diminished everything Olandria was saying. And apparently, before these interviews, Huda, Chelley, and Olandria were cool, allegedly, at that Airbnb. Apparently, Chelley came to visit and they had a conversation about putting out this post to stop the hate train that Olandria and Chelley were receiving. And Huda said she was going to make a post. And a few days go by and there's no post. And then the Caller Daddy interview comes out and, they decide, hey, this is it. This is all, right? Because you're basically calling Chelley a bully. And basically, Huda confirms that tonight, right? She confirms based off of, she didn't feel that she was bullied in the villa, but when she came out and saw a clip, then she feels confirmed she was bullying. But the clip she's referring to is a clip that is of Sierra, Olandria, Taylor, and Nicolas, and they're talking about the Iris and Huda situation, and I think they make some type of commentary. Oh, they think that, she's looking at us and that we're talking about her, but we're not, and they start laughing, and Huda wants to point to that as the bullying. And so why did Amaya in the background say that that was mean? But the whole segment about the racism, about the, hate that Chelley and Olandria are receiving, the same Chelley that is signed to the same management company as you and the same agency as you and everything else, the same Chelley before the show, the same Chelley who put herself on the line basically saying you were not getting eliminated, no way, come HELL or high water. And crickets, but you have the audacity to call Chelley mean from that clip, but not say anything because of your allegiance to Huda, which is a sinking ship and everything else, bad for business and everything else. You say nothing about the racism, about the hatred that Chelley and Olandria are receiving and are still receiving. It's flat out disgusting to me. So that is when, they called out, Chelley and Olandria called out the hypocrisy of Huda. How Huda would say one thing in the villa, immediately apologize, and then something else happens, and then something else escalates. And I don't, for the life of me, understand how people don't see that these girls were lied to, and Huda, the moment she met them, said, I'm a mom, I'm a mamacita, please don't do anything with these connections if I have anything. You set that tone with Jeremiah, that Jeremiah was untouchable, you're giving him hickeys, like Jeremiah said later in the reunion, you're misconstruing what he is saying to you in conversations, basically making it known to everybody he is off limits, right? And I'm glad that Andy Cohen called out later in the reunion that if, Chelley did that type of heart rate challenge on Jeremiah, what would the reaction be? And once again, Huda deflected. And I was mad that Andy Cohen did not press Huda to say, hey, you and Jeremiah had a much stronger connection than you and Chris. So that's not the same thing, right? But I am glad they held Huda to task about the racism, about the bullying, everything else. And still, as of now, you guys, there's no post on social media from Huda. Because here's what I think. Huda wanted Chelley and Olandria to receive this hate. Even though she was the most followed, even though Huda has the most followers, she is jealous of the love and the praise that Olandria and Chelley continue to receive despite it all, right? And it bothers her, right? And I think her real issue with Chelley is the fact that Chelley did not have a struggle experience on Love Island like Huda did, right? Regardless of how you feel of Chelley, those men were interested in her. And that bothered Huda. Right? And so that is why Huda resorts to her sex capades to try to lure these men in. Whether it is doing inappropriate routines during challenges, whether it is having sex with the Islanders at nighttime and not acknowledging them in public or cussing them out in front of everybody in public. But she was mad that Chelley did not have to do anything to get these men, making her extra pancakes, giving her extra flowers, and everything else. And that bothered her. That is her real issue. And it was interesting to me that the cast all are like, oh yeah, you know, Chelley and Olandria, they're nice people. You know, they're most down to earth. They're saying all this stuff into interviews. But my biggest issue with this cast that I'm going to talk about in a separate video is they did not stand on business at all. They were mute a lot of the times, especially the discussion about the racism, the bullying, and the hate that Chelley and Olandria got. Nobody said anything. Everybody was mute. It was like y'all were afraid to say anything, afraid to stand up for what was right. And that is why I don't know why y'all want there to be a Beyond the Villa with this cast. This cast does not like each other, and this cast did not stand on business tonight, with the exception of Chelley and Olandria. And I will talk about in a separate video the whole Chris, Huda, and Chelley of it all, and what Chelley's real issue there was, because I don't think she articulated herself well in it, but I'll try to tell you what the real issue at hand was. But staying on this, you know, they further said that it was Huda that was putting out there. She wanted Chelley and Olandria to meet her daughter and all of this and all of that. And that's how much she loved them, that they were friends, that they were sisters and all this and all that. And then the switch up in the interviews, you allowed your fans and everybody else to gas you up. And this is why I say you got to watch the full episodes back, because if you're just getting gassed up off of clips and not having the full context, not having the full confessionals of what people are saying in the beach hut confessionals, like you're missing the bigger picture, right? And so ultimately where they stood with Huda and Chelley and Olandria was Chelley and Olandria basically said, listen, look here, I'm protecting my peace. I can love you from afar. I can wish you well from afar, but we're not going to be friends. And Olandria, it just hurt her that Huda lied and played in her face like that, said she was going to make the post, never made the post, still has not made no post, condemning racism, condemning bullying, everything else. And it just showed that, to me, Huda wanted them to receive that hate, because Huda did not have a good experience in that villa. She was dragged up and down with the whole Jeremiah situation. She got embarrassed by Chris, you know, finale night. You're supposed to be celebrating love and everything else, and they're having a massive breakup, and therefore she has to now try to do this clout thing with Luis to try to save face, but she can't even talk about it. So he's treating her like a sneaky link. Make it make sense. So she, in return, wanted Chelley and Olandria to receive that hatred, to receive that bullying on the outside by her fan base as a way to feel better about herself, because she's allowing it now. And that's the whole point of it all, you guys. Huda wanted Chelley and Olandria to receive hate, and that is why she still will not say anything. So there is that. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you're notified the moment I post new content on my channel. And with that being said, I'll talk to you guys again very soon.